For this demonstration, I'm going to be showing you 5 different techniques on how you can apply pencil to your paper for when you do an image and you're trying to get shading on there. And they are blending, hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, and scumbling. So for your blending, basically what you do is you're transitioning your values from either light to dark or dark to light. So if I was to go dark to light to get the darker values, I would put a lot of pressure on my pencil, and as I lighten up, I ease up on the pressure. I'm using kind of a circular motion. You don't want to go just straight up and down and across. You want to use a circular motion. You'll get a smoother transition in your values. And I'm easing up on the pressure. And easing up some more. So I get fairly light with this pencil. I can go the other direction where I start off light and apply more and more pressure as I work my way across, and this will get my pencil to be darker. It's all about control. How much pressure you put down, how many times you go over the same spot. It's controlling the pressure of your pencil, how much graphite you've actually applied to that area, and so on. So there's that one, there's blending. For hatching is fairly straightforward. This one I'm going to be using a 2B pencil. This one up here for blending I used a 6B just so I can get really dark, and took it all the way to as light as I could. So for hatching, basically hatching is lines that all go in the same direction. So if I want to start off light, the further apart I make my marks, the lighter they are, the lighter it looks. The more I build it up and the closer they get, the more marks I put on the paper, the darker it becomes. I'm not putting my pencil down and scribbling up and down. I am lifting for each mark. Lift, put it down, mark, lift, put down, mark, lift. Each mark. So there's that direction. I can go really dark. And ease up on the pressure in this direction. Again, the more space between my lines, the lighter the value looks. So if this is hatching, cross-hatching, what do you think that is? You think it's going multiple directions where the lines cross each other? And you are correct. So say I start off in one direction, and I kind of have value transition in the one direction, but I can go in with a second direction, very spread out when I want it light. The more I build it up, the darker it becomes. What I'm not doing is what looks like lattice when you have little X's. So it's not little X's, it's random marks going in multiple directions. Still lifting my pencil between each mark. So over here I have mainly one direction. Here I have 2, and then over here where I want it to get even darker, I will probably add a 3rd and or a 4th direction. But right now I'm just going to go 3. Multiple directions is cross-hatching. I can go dark to light again. Start with one direction. Add in a second. And a little more here in this area. And then over where I want it to be even darker, I can add in a 3rd direction. Still, with this one, I still have transitions between my values. I'm not jumping really quickly from really light to really dark. Alright. So next I'm going to show you is called scumbling. This one is basically you're scribbling with a purpose. So if I want a light value, I'm going to make my scribble marks really far apart, not with any pattern set in mind, kind of random. And then the more I build it up, the more pressure I put, the darker my value becomes. Still keeping my scribbling marks, my scumbling random. I'm not doing circles, I'm kind of changing it up as I go. The more I build it up, the more the lines are closer together, the darker my values get, just like before. And go dark to light in the opposite direction. Trying to keep it as random as you can. You don't want it to look like it has a pattern to it. So that's scumbling. And the last one I want to show you is called stippling. And it's actually a lot easier if I show you with a marker or a felt tip pen. For this one, I'm going to use an ultrafine Sharpie. And stippling, all it is dots. The fewer dots you have, the more they're spread out, the lighter your value is. The more you build it up, the more dots you get, the darker your value becomes. This one is by far going to take you the longest to use. It looks really cool, it's very forgiving, even though you're doing it in ink, because it's easy to correct your mistakes. However, it takes a while and it's noisy. But it looks really cool when it's done. And you can use a bigger marker if you want to make it go faster, but your dots will be a lot more chunky and fatter and might not be the look you're going for. And I could do it the opposite direction too. It's easier to start lighter and work your way darker with stippling. It's possible to do it either way with any of them really. It takes a long time to get that darker value in there. It's easier on the lighter values.